And continuing on, we're going to grab some cylinders, and in fact we'll use what we've got right here, Control D. And let's rotate these guys around. Alright, so this guy right in here, if we take a look at it, we've got a connection that comes in right here, a pipe that goes back into another pipe right here. So let's first off shrink things down so that they fit in to what we have here. And let's go ahead and pull that center pipe through. It's going to go into that other piece there. And as you can tell, we scaled along one area. So let's go ahead and scale along our other axis as well. So we've got, let's see which one this one was. Let's do our scaling. We're looking for about a 0.5 and a 0.5. And our inside one, we can do a 0.4 and 0.4. There we go. Okay, we look good and solid with that. Now our next connection over is going to be into a pipe with a couple of cubes on each end with some other little pipes running across. So let's go ahead and start by making our main pipe right there. And we can do that one with, let's say, this guy right here. This one's going to be a little bit bigger, so let's check it out in our side view over here. Let's turn on our textured mode so we can see it. Now we've got an angle on it. We'll put the angle on it in just a little bit. I want to hang on to the straight lines first so that it makes it a little bit easier on the modeling side. Go into our vertex mode and drag that shape out. There we go. Alright, so we're looking good right there at that front. And we make it all the way back to that back. We might have to adjust that just a little bit, but we look pretty close right there. Okay, so let's get our little squares on the front and back that are bolted in. And that's just going to be a nice simple little cube. And we look like we're right about in here. I'm going to pull that one up just a little bit. And what have we got? We've got a Alright, we'll go for about a 6 and a 6.6. Gives us a nice little block to go around it. Let's go ahead and make a bevel on it. So I'm going to go back over to my modeling toolkit on the bevel. We'll bump in one extra edge there. Alright, so that gives us that little piece, and then we have the same little piece toward the end of it. Just Control D on the keyboard, and we're just gonna move it on over to the end. I'm going to move my vertex points a little more into the middle of this one because it actually ends right there from the looks of it. Which is definitely one thing you want to do as you are working on your models. You want to make sure that you take time to look over the concept art and try to answer as many questions about the model before you actually get started. The more prep work you can do on that, the better for you. Alright, that looks good for us. Let's go ahead and grab, let's say, these two shapes over here, because these two shapes will actually work to our benefit. I'm just going to grab this one. We'll pull him over on this side so we can work with him. And let's just rotate him over. So basically there's going to be the pipe that runs all the way through that little dark line there. There's a pipe that's running all the way through. And we're going to make that happen right in here. And then we've got a little bit like a washer and a nut that's on that side that's going to hold that in place. And let's go into our vertex mode. Drag this one all the way over. In fact, we're actually just going to drag this one right at the front. And this one, we'll drag this one all the way over and through. There we go. And this one, we're just going to make a copy of him. Pull him over on this side. Alright, with those in place, we can slide this over. There we go, on that side and on that side. And then we can have some fun. I'm going to go ahead and combine those shapes before we continue. So just into Mesh and Combine. And then Control D. We'll move that one over. And then Control D. And we can move those down. If I can grab my little point down there. There we go. Alright, so in just a second, we have a nice amount of little detail right in here. That looks great. And with that out of the way, the only other pieces on there, we've got a couple little angle pieces that are making their way in there. It's sort of like something to secure it or to bolt it down from each side. So let's go ahead and put a little box piece right on there. So I'm going to just grab a box and let's go into a top view. A little bit of a wireframe here because we want something that's just gonna have enough geometry to make a little bit of an angle, a little bit of a box that's gonna bolt in for us. We'll go into our toolkit, our bevel. That looks pretty good. Let's go over to our vertex mode. And all of this, let's sink that down into it. Grab the top of it, scale that in. And you can see that we still haven't gone quite down far enough, so let's go ahead and make sure we're all the way in there. There we go. Now, could we get rid of the bottom of it? Absolutely. If we're concerned with geometry, we can absolutely just select on the bottom section, delete it, because we don't really need any of it since it doesn't show. Then we'd actually be okay with it. If we're doing any 3D prints, it's best to leave them more as a solid object, but since this is just for modeling and rigging or animating, we'll be in good shape. Alright, and with that, let's put a little bolt, something to tie this guy to this guy right on top. So, easy way of doing a bolt, let's just grab a sphere and let's make a nice big meaty size bolt. There we go. It looks like something that can hold something together. And an easy way to do this, we could model it, or we could keep it even more simple. Let's see, let's first bump our axis down. Let's go 12 and 12. And with the cube selected, we're going to just do a quick little boolean on this. Gives us a chance to use a few more of the tools inside of Maya. Alright, right about in here. And we just want to use this to cut out from the shape here. So I'm going to select on this one and that one, and then we're going to go up to our mesh and our boolean. We're going to do the difference. When we do the difference, it just makes a cut and gives us just what we want. Now the geometry in here may not be that clean, but at this point it's not too bad to work with when we're not concerned too much on the geometry. As we progress and we learn more and more on the geometry side, what we want to do is go back through and do cleanup, which we can go ahead and take a peek at. We want to make sure that we're doing cleanup on all the little vertices so that we don't have too many little ones going on, and we keep our topology and our polys more to a poly instead of a more than a four-sided shape. Let's see, and on this one, let's say we go into our vertex mode. We could do like we did before. We could use the V key and snap our vertices into each other and then weld them into each other. But we're in good shape right now, so I think we can hold off on that and not have to worry too much. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and group these two guys together. So combine, and then let's do a little bit of rotation. Let's also move our point back up. There we go. And getting it all the way up and around like that, you just need to use the reset button and it'll reset it to the center. There we go. Alright, so this thing is now securely bolted in. And it looks like at this point we've got this little section knocked out, we've got that front piece knocked out. We can just move right into that next piece. We'll do that next.